What up, THA? That's a Total Home Authority member. James Williams, 360 Home Inspections, hanging out with us this morning. Yes, the Queen's here. James, I got you coming in 2 weeks, brother, so adjust your schedule. Perfect.
All right, 2 minutes.
All right, brother.
Fuck.
Sound healthy, brother. Don't forget I'm on Facebook.
Oh, my mic was up.
What's up?
Whoopsie. Thank God you caught that, Jesus. Normally you can only hear me unless I push a button.
Right.
But my mic was potted up. It wasn't on because of this, the way we got it set up for your show.
Right.
All right, 1 minute. Thank God Facebook's not FCC regulated.
Yeah, right. No, they definitely, music, whatever, they got something figured out, man.
Yeah, man.
That's why dial that thing down at 7 seconds no matter what. You know what,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Be silent at 7.
Okay.
Got a little go-go juice. Good to go.
It's too early for Bloody Marys. What are you doing?
I know, exactly, man.
Is it garnished with like fried shrimp and stuff?
Oh, no. This is just straight sugar, but they sell it as healthy, so it's okay.
Right. All right, 10 seconds.
All right.
Broadcasting to the Gumbo Nation for over 6 years, providing education and options to listeners throughout the Gulf Coast and across the nation. Mortgage Gumbo is brought to you live weekly by the Total Home Authority, Team Title, Tito's Handmade Vodka, TWFG Biden Cough Insurance Group, The Fence King, Bienvenue Plumbing, Mosquito Joe, and 360 Home Inspections. Mortgage Gumbo is the leading authority for all things home-related. So let's spice up that bowl of mortgage awareness with the man who is high in mortgage knowledge, yet height and hair challenged. The man who only knows how to put the client first. The true definition of a face for radio. The leader of the Gumbo Nation, Dwayne Stein.
What's cooking, Gumbo Nation? You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. And I'm your host, Dwayne Stein, the Gulf South Mortgage Authority. If you want to join the show, 504-260-0995, or you can shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. On the show today, look, she's here. We're getting everything set up. The Queen of Insurance is how she's affectionately known amongst the Total Home Authority and the Gumbo Nation. Colette Biedenkopf is going to be joining us. She's here. We're running, it's Ruckshire because here's the thing. Well, let me finish my introductions. Colette Biedenkopf's going to be joining us. The Monarch INS, the Monarch INS dad cam. If you have, she's going to be going over deadlines, all those freaking storms we had. She's going to be covering the deadlines to make claims. She's going to be talking about that, and I've got some questions that I think you'll want to know the answers to. And then she's just bringing her overall, I mean, I know she only looks 20, but it's still like 20-something years of education and options when it comes to insurance. She's amazing, and we're blessed to have her as part of the Total Home Authority. Actually, she's the senior member, which is even super splendid. So anytime I get her in here, it's a win. And with everything going on, she came to me and she's like, all right, it's game time. I need in the studio. We got to alert the Gumbo Nation of some great things going on. So we're going to get to that in a second. So, listeners, yes, it's fine. I just want to tell y'all it's fine. I'm not offended. Listen, as the intro says, hair and height challenged, absolutely correct. My driver's license says 5'10". Look, 5'9.5", maybe 5 1/4. Tell people my shoe size is an 11. 10.5. But here's what I want you to know the truth is. I answer to dad cam. That's a fact. There's no fiction there. There's no fluff. I answer to dad cam. And it's crazy because Gumbo Nation, it's getting out there. It's getting out there. I mean, regardless, not even if I'm in my truck that's got my lovely face on side of it when I'm driving around, but I see so many people, if I'm just hanging out, having some lunch or something like that, these are the things that I get fortunately to, when people see me, they're like, hey, you the dad cam guy. Yes, so I do answer to that. So this week was buying lunch for my staff because I'm one of the nicest bosses out there. And when I ran my credit card, they were like, wait, you the dad cam guy? I said, yes, I am. So business owner came over, shook my hand, and that worked out. And then my son, who's a freshman at Lakeshore, kudos to the Titans, winners of 2 in a row, 3 of their last 4. So Coach Skinner and Boomer getting it going over there. My son, who's a freshman over there, playing some varsity ball with Westcott and all those guys, knocking it out the park. This week I went to buy my son a pitching machine, and when I pulled up, the guy's like, man, are you the Mortgage Gumbo guy? I said, yeah. He goes, man, I share an office with Gregory Ricks over in Metairie. I said, come on. He goes, man, huge fan of your show. Love Gregory's show. Everything is awesome. And he's like, just give it to me one time, and I'll take $50 off the pitching machine. He goes, but you got to guess what I want. I said, sir, it's too easy. And I hit him with a dad cam. So, listen, if you want it, I give it. It's no problem. I don't mind doing it at all. So, hey, we already got a caller. My boy Matthew in Metairie. What's up, Matthew? How can we help you this morning?
Okay, is there a online resource where my wife can go and get all of her questions answered about a reverse mortgage?
Well, a couple things. So, number one is we do some PowerPoints that I have on those, Matthew, that I could send to you. You could also go to mortgagegumbo.com. We have a section. And if any information she needs, just go to Snap, Send, and Save. Dadcam, go to that, click on Reverse Mortgage. We get them on a daily basis, and then we'll set up a phone call so we can answer any questions that you've got, my man. So mortgagegumbo.com will have some info.
Handing my wife. She doesn't want to talk to anybody. She just wants to look.
Yeah, no, they go to mortgagegumbo.com, or what I would recommend is go back. I think it was like last October. I had the head of reverse mortgages for our company. She was on, and we did a huge show on it. She covered everything from A to Z. So really, really good show there she could pick up on, my man.
All right, well, I'll have her go check that out. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Always, Matthew. Appreciate you, my man. So the dad cam's good. But the other thing I want to do real quick is, is just a huge, tremendous tremendous shout out to my schmuckatellis out there. And you know who you are. You're the bankers, the brokers, the folks who just really came in last year trying to make a quick buck. You're not the lifers. You're not the career people who are looking out for the client every single day. This week at the office, we labeled Smuckatelli Week. We had close to 8 closings this week because I tracked them. 8 closings this week we tracked that was all people who called, not because they wanted to see if they could get a better rate, but called because they were turned down by a bank, a broker, or some other type of lender. So, you know, to those people, hey, we had 2 VA loans. One was a refinance. One was a purchase, right? This bank told them, this Schmuckatelli told them that they can't do VA below a 680. Another one was a purchase. They told them that they couldn't do a purchase on a VA loan below a 640. An FHA loan, same thing. Credit score below a 640. Rural development, they didn't offer the program. So my big point to all of you listening is you have options. You have options. Don't accept that no. Understand that you have options when it comes to getting financed. Now, do we tell everybody yes? No, we do not. But here's what I can tell you. We don't turn you down, but we let you know exactly what you need to move forward or how to move forward. And that's the name of the game here. So just understand you have options. And as we've been discussing, in this rising rate environment, which is what it's being deemed, I'm telling you, there's folks out there that are listening to the show. A headline this week is rising rate environment. What's next? I'm telling you, they're listening. So, you know, there's a lot of different things that are going on. And as these rates start to rise, guess what? There's an article this week that came out about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Guess what? If you're trying to buy a second home or investment, they're only going to allow their portfolio now to be 7% of that. 7%. So understand that they're already starting. These banks are not going to get caught out in the cold. And they're not anyway, because 60-something% of the population either has free and clear homes or more than 50% equity. So we're in a lot different circumstance than we were way back when. So we're going to cover rates in the next segment, and we'll get into that. But also, you need to know, for all you churchgoers, see, fall's when you get there early because the hour falls back. Tonight at 2 a.m., it falls forward. So make sure. That's right. That's breaking news. Yes, indeed. Give me one of those again, Dave. Daylight saving time. Tonight at 2 a.m., we spring forward. Right? Fall back, spring forward. Yeah, okay, good. So we are springing forward. So daylight savings time tonight, so mark your calendar. That just means you get Mortgage Gumbo an hour earlier next week. All right, on the other side of the break, the Queen, she's here. The trumpets are playing. The rose petals are flowing. It's time. The Queen of Insurance, Colette Biedenkopf, joins us, and we are going to cover all things insurance plus Rate Watch. And then we talk about, put rates into a little bit of perspective for you. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein on iHeartRadio, 504-260-0995.
Man, Matthew was waiting with his hand on the trigger for the show to start, huh?
up there. We're doing training or something. It'll make you look cooler anyway. Can you hear me? Hello, hello? Good.
Yep.
All right, cool. You hear Dave? You heard Dave just now? Perfect. Okay.
Come again?
No, I was just making sure she could hear me.
Okay.
We didn't have. I forgot she needed a headset.
All right, 1 minute.
All right.
All right, here we go.
We getting you fired up. It's St. Patty's Day this Wednesday, the 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Just a reminder, daylight savings time tonight, 2 a.m., tomorrow morning, whatever you want to call. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. This segment's brought to you by The Fence King. The Fence King. Visit FenceThisYard.com. FenceThisYard.com. 20-plus years of experience. 200-plus 5-star Google and 100-plus more Facebook and other media reviews. 5-star. One-of-a-kind virtual fence designer. That means it puts you in control. No high pressure. His work always comes with a warranty. Love them. Use them. Recommend them. FenceThisYard.com. You will not be disappointed. Visit FenceThisYard.com. So, let's bring in Senior Total Home Authority member Colette Beancoff. Colette, welcome back to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. So we're going to be discussing today. I know I've got some questions for you. I know there's some different deadlines, and there's a lot of things that's going on right now with that. So Colette Beancoff, just, president, owner, operator, manager, what's all of the?
Branch owner of TWFG branch, the Woodlands Financial Group. We're an independent agent. And so I have contracts with many, many, many carriers to offer the most competitive products to my clients.
And I hate to say it, but I think we got to add insurance agencies to the list of Smuckatellis, because we're going to tell a story about this week on how you saved several of my clients, you and the princess of insurance, Jamie,
right?
Saved clients not $10 a month, not $100 a year, hundreds a month. I mean, took one policy from what, $4,400 to $2,100?
Yes.
I mean, that is absolutely absurd. So the reason I say, hey, what do you do is, Colette's sort of like me as a correspondent lender. We have access to multiple options for you at great rates, right? They want to do business with us. So that is where she benefits over, as we affectionately say, Big Red and Big Blue, who are writing one single one under one umbrella, right?
Right. They're limited on the companies that they can represent, because they are captive agents, and that means that you only pretty much write whatever it is the company you represent. On the flip side of that, as an independent agent, you are able to really just market that particular property and see which insurance company really offers the best coverage, best deductible, and best premium for that client. So I believe me, I feel fortunate that I have the access to as many companies I do have. So we pretty much could find the right fit for that customer.
Well, and I think that's so important because, especially in today's day, I mean, I think you're sort of, you are sort of where we are, right? Meaning, are you looking at premiums going up almost like, I mean, does it kind of go hand in hand with interest rates?
I would say no, because last year we just had, it's coincidence, I would say, that we have the rising rates on interest rates, but the insurance rates are creeping up because of the catastrophes that occurred along the Gulf Coast last year.
So they don't go hand in hand. It's because last year we had 7 storms hit this area.
Correct.
All that type of thing.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right, cool. So when we're talking about and we're discussing the insurance, and one thing you stated was a captive agent. So for the listeners, if they're with the Big Red, the Big Blues, that means that they are working through whatever they have to offer under that policy that makes sense for them. I guess kind of like if you go to a local bank for a loan, right? I mean, they're going to put in their portfolio what they want, is most profitable for them.
Right. It's if you go to a local bank, then you are borrowing money from the local bank. They don't have other investors. They don't have other programs. They don't have other lenders that they can shop your rate through to give you a competitive number. They have, if the bank offers this percentage rate for new home buyers with this credit score, then that's what they can offer. So they're limited to that one product.
Okay. All right. So that makes sense. So let's kind of get into when you're talking about, I think it's important because I know I've got tons of questions. I just got one over at info@mortgagegumbo.com that we will get to. Hey, if you've got insurance, join us in studio. Any insurance questions. It's just not any insurance person. It's the queen of insurance. Colette Biedenkopf, themonarchins.com. You know, one of the things you do is kind of like we do, and that's the free second look, right? You tell people, hey, let us review your policy. And I want to get into that in a second because you're probably, you and I think that's why we've been together so long, is because lo and behold, it's hard to find somebody out there that puts the client first, right? And sometimes you and I are both, you'll look at a policy and say, you or Princess Jamie will go, hey, they're good.
Yeah.
I told a client this week, I'm like, if they're giving you that, roll with it.
Right.
And if they keep giving you that and they give that to more than just you, I'll have them on as an investor pretty soon with me because I don't like losing. But we also know sometimes somebody just lines up and everything lines up. The stars, the moon, and everything is perfect for them to stay where they're at or with that offer. That's fine, right?
100%. We're not about to put someone in a worse position. Our goal is to counsel that person and let them know that what they have is very competitive and it does not, it's not in their best interest to change.
Yeah. Well, that's something I want to bring up because I know there's a lot of stuff going on with, so many people, and I've learned this through you and Jamie, so many people are, hey, I need to refinance a roof. I need to refinance because I need to get money for a roof. So it kind of gets me scratching my head. Mm-hmm. Well, what about insurance, right? So I want to talk to that on the other side of the break. But what I want to do right now is, I know you mentioned there's some deadlines coming up, right?
Yes,
So
very
let's
important.
make sure that we let our folks know about deadlines that are coming up to make claims on these horrible storms.
Right. So we had Zeta impact our local area October 28th. The deadline to report a claim from that storm is April 26th. So that's right around the corner.
Okay.
Another storm that hit more to the west side was Delta on October 9th. That deadline to file is April 7th.
Okay.
When I say deadline to file, that means, well, I saw a couple of shingles on the ground, but I picked them up and, everything's fine. No, you need to have your roof inspected if you're missing shingles.
Okay.
If the inspection results in, hey, you need to file a claim, you have a limited time to file the claim with your insurance company. So I just wanted to go over those.
So that's not a phone call in to ask your agency questions. It's you've gotten somebody out there. They've looked at the property.
Correct. Like, I'm not advising people to go out and look at their own roofs.
No, of course
because
not.
they don't know what they're looking for. But if you suspect that you have sustained some damage as a result of these storms, you have a limited time to make a claim for them. That's what I wanted to say.
All right, that's important to know there. So very, very important when it comes to that. So that doesn't mean, and let me just repeat, that doesn't mean for Delta that you got to do it by April 7th. You call Colette and go, hey, can we get somebody out here? No, it's got to be done by then.
Right.
A claim has to be made by then.
Correct. Right.
So a claim is what? I mean, just look, I'm being very naive right now because I want to make sure. What is a claim, right?
That's when you call the insurance company and say, hey, I believe I sustained damage as a result of these storms, one storm, whatever, two storms, and I need to file and open a claim, get a claim number, get an adjuster assigned. That's what I mean by filing a claim. And the deadline to file
is April 7th.
April 7th for Delta, April 26th for Zeta.
So remember that number, April 7th, coming up. April 7th. On the other side of the break, hey, we're going to knock out Rate Watch, and the Queen has a lot of information. I've got questions. Total Home Authority member Colette Biedenkoff is in studio, bringing education and options, and she used a great word there, counsel. She counsels her clients. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio, 504-260-0995. We'll answer that. I'll ask that when we get back. We'll get you an answer on the flip, Emil. Good question.
All right, 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Dougie Fresh.
4 minutes. 4. Hey, Dwayne, you there?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, we have an Anona.
Okay.
Anona.
Yeah,
She wants to know when the rates lock in for, like, refinancing.
Yep. She wants to be on air, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, she started to try to kind of explain to him. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't
know nothing about no mortgages.
We're actually helping her, so.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
Dwayne.
Yo.
So now we have an Albert in New Orleans. Has some insurance questions for the Queen of Insurance.
Awesome. Good.
All right, 30 seconds.
All right.
It's definitely the Irish music. It's just making them just call in. It's just like their
without
fingers.
a doubt.
I know, absolutely.
Clogged. Oh, yeah. It's St. Patty's Day, mates. Is that mates? No, that's English, right? Anyway, hey, you know what's coming Wednesday. Drink the green beer, dress up, find somewhere to grab a giggle for St. Patty's Day this Wednesday. Welcome back. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. If you want to join the show, 504-260-0995. We're going to get to our callers in a second. This segment's brought to you by Solar Alternatives, new member of the Total Home Authority. They are the Gulf South's leader in solar, battery backup, and energy management systems. They've been around since 2008. They're not one of these fly-by-night folks. I use them, I took advantage of them, and I'm seeing the results immediately. I've had it for about 60 days now, and let me tell you something. My bills are going down. It's amazing how much it reduces your electricity costs. You can't afford not to have them come out and give you a free estimate. Visit SolAlt, SolAlt.com. Ask them about the incredible tax credits. Tax credits. It's amazing. That's SolAlt, SolAlt.com. Hey, let's head to Anona. She's called in. She's got a question. Anona, how can we help you out, ma'am?
Okay, I'm trying to find out when you talk to someone and you're giving them the interest rate that they'd be going by with refinancing, does that lock in then or doesn't lock in to actually go for the closing?
No. Great question, Anona. Great question. No, your rate is going to be locked in. Number one, you want to be working with a lender that is looking out for you for the best opportunity to lock you in. Okay, so what that means is a lender's not going to lock you in just because y'all talking on the phone, right? So what's going to happen there is when you return what they call initial disclosures or RESPAs, when you get that information back, at that point you've made a commitment. You've signed an intent to proceed with the with your lender. At that point, your loan could then be locked in, okay? Or it can be what's called floated. And what that means is the lender is looking out for you. If rates get better, then you could take advantage of it. However, if they get worse, which is what we're seeing a lot of right now, you are locked in at the better pricing to ensure that you're getting the best rate that is available to you. So it's definitely not done at close. Some lenders do. Some lenders wait to that point. But, you know, my job, I'm looking at things on a daily basis, and I'm monitoring. Again, we are credit advisors over here at Mortgage Gumbo, so we don't just wait to see what's going on. We are looking at what's the next day. What are we looking at? What's going on in the market? When is the Fed people speaking? What are we seeing with this stimulus, for instance, when that happened this past weekend and got signed? What are we looking at from those aspects? So there's a lot that goes into it, Anona, but it's from the day that you sign the intent to proceed that I can't speak for everybody else, that we get you locked in. Great question.
And how long does it take for the closure about? I've run into some problems.
Well,
I'm having to work with your team right now, and it seems like it's a simple matter, but it's like I'm having to do a lot of work for them.
Okay, so a couple things that go on there. So it all depends on what the things are. So, it depends on what those different items are and how that stuff works. So it's a little bit different from on each situation. So on average, we closing the loans at 15 to 20 days. But if you start running into title stuff, different things like that, then it could go from there.
Yes.
So
that's what I'm saying. And that's why I was checking to make sure that, I'm okay with this, trying to get this taken care of with us right now.
Yeah, no, the rates are a lot.
What you quoted me before was going to be about right.
Yeah. Absolutely, Miss Anona. Yeah, no, and we're not going to punish. When you're looking at certain things that happen with loans. It just depends on where there are, but that's where we'll do rate extensions and exceptions and different things like that to ensure you get that rate. You're good, Miss Anona. I promise.
All right,
you.
that's how I was just getting more.
Yes, ma'am. No, we got you back. You're in good shape. Thank you, ma'am. All right, so let's go to Albert. Albert's got a question for the Queen. Go ahead, Albert. How can we help you out?
Hey, happy St. Patrick's Day weekend, everyone.
Yes,
regarding homeowners insurance, in the last, 7-8 years, many regional carriers have come into to the state, and even some companies domiciled in the state. I was curious, how do you think those companies compare to the more established companies, like you mentioned, like Big Red, Big Blue, Hartford, Liberty Mutual? I mean, it seems like these companies are more willing to write in areas that those other companies don't want to write. I was just curious.
We have seen an influx of carriers come into the market in the last 7 years, which was driving the rates down for everybody, because just like any business, when you have more players, you have to become more competitively rated. And what I've seen is the ones that have done the right types of moves, smart underwriting, smart, rating. Those folks are in for the long haul. They're surviving the storms that occurred. But at the same time, we're losing a couple as well because they oversaturated the market. They came in and tried to write too many things too low.
Yeah.
And now they're pulling out. So, but those are very few.
You represent some of those companies? You represent some of the better, more established regional carriers?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
sir.
I mean,
I have national carriers as well as regional carriers, but all my carriers that I represent are A-rated or above.
Well, and I would count it just to kind of – thank you, Albert, for the call. I appreciate that, sir. I would say insurance companies, I've seen it because, look, let's face it, Louisiana, we're not the cheapest in policies out premiums, right?
No.
So everybody wants to get a piece of it. It's almost like what we're seeing in the lending industry right now. You've got last year rates go all-time low 16 times. You could have been – it doesn't matter – you could have stood on a street corner and said low rates, and somebody was going to stop and go, hey, what do you have for me? But what happens is when things start to change a little bit, you get that person that don't know anything outside of reading a script, right? All of a sudden they go, well, wait, this isn't as profitable as it was, and they haul tail. So I'm assuming kind of the same thing with you guys, right? They come in, they go, oh, we're going to go take advantage of this.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
And then, they can't hang, so to speak.
Well,
right?
I mean, they got into the market late, and they offered lower rates to try and capture more of the share, and then they got their butts beaten, with 7 storms on the Gulf Coast in 1 year.
There you go.
Oh, hello. Bad timing.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree. That happened. Hey, let's do our, before I forget here, because I know people love this segment, let's do our weekly segment we like to call Rate Watch. Rate Watch is brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. It's America's first handcrafted vodka. Here's where we're at, folks. Rising rate environment. This week they were all over the place. Anona just called. Does your lender have your best interest at hand? Hey, rates last week, 3.29 on a 30, 3.32 this week. Okay? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight weeks of going in the higher region. 15-year, 264 at 268. FHA. 285 down to 275. So FHA, not bad there. Jumbo, 3.40, 3.33. And the 5-1 adjustable, 2.60 up to 2.65. Even VA now is mid to upper 2. So rates are all over the place. I could tell you, if it wouldn't have been for yesterday, and that's why we got all our people locked in, if it wouldn't have been for yesterday, rates yesterday jumped 55 basis points alone. So we would have had a winning week. And my clients did. So you got, like Miss Anona when she called, Does your lender know why rates should go up? Does your lender know on the premiums, on the stimulus, how that's affecting? Or are they watching the 10-year treasury, seeing that it creeps up, and then there's certain ceilings that things go into there? So, great question there. So when it comes to rates, though, listen, it's perspective. Listen to this. In 2020, last year at this time, 3.45. In 2019, 4.27. These are all 30-year rates. In 2018, 4.44. 2017, 4.2. In 2016, 3.69. So going back 5 years, we are still right at 0.25% lower than it's been. So again, relax. Don't panic. The rates are all over the place on a weekly basis. But don't wait. If you're thinking about getting approved for a house or buying a house, you need to be pre-approved today. So that way, when you are ready to go, you can make that offer and you can lock in that low interest rate. So here's a question, and I'm going to ask you, you know what? Let's hit it on the other side of the break because I've got these questions. So on the other side of the break, we've got questions for Colette Biedenkopf. The queen of insurance is in studio. The Monarch, INS, Dad Cam. Visitor. Set an appointment. Call 985-951-2070. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein on iHeartRadio.
Bruh, these phones. Oh, never mind. She hung up.
Oh, shut up.
I was like, man, the phones keep ringing. Well, look, I'll text after the show. I'll text you all the information from the caller.
No, that's fine. Yep. They hung up.
All right, 3 minutes.
Hey, if you want, I think I'm good enough now. You could hit me in the ear. You know what I'm saying?
Come again?
You could hit me in the ear with like, "Hey, Donna and Abita insurance question."
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? That's fine.
I do. First, I thought you were asking me to punch you. I'm like, what? That's an odd request.
Phone ringing. Just now. Yeah. Dave, how crazy is that, right? We give out the phone number. All of a sudden, her phone starts ringing over there. It's awesome. That's right. We got Colette Biedenkopf. Hey, Emil, while we're doing a break, Colette, why don't you answer Emil's question during the break now so I can get to these other questions during the show? Morning, Colette. Just briefly heard you on the radio. Did you say that homeowners insurance will go up after the storms that have passed through? I think that's is it individualized, or will, if he didn't have a claim, his carrier could decide, hey, premiums are up, right? What would be a good answer there? It's on.
Okay. Emil, it's a case-by-case basis. Overall, I will tell you that the rates are going up across the board, but there are certain circumstances that you might see the same premium, amount. You might see a deductible change to where maybe you had a low wind deductible, and now they're offering a renewal with the same premium, but you may have a higher deductible. So there is no black and white answer. There is no one answer. It is case by case basis. And we'll talk a little bit on the radio once we come back on air about how important it is to shop the rates if you have just put a new roof on your house. So we're going to talk about that later. But if you want my office to review what you have, Emil, please send it over, and we'll do a free review for you.
Yeah, give her a call, Emil. Either visit The Monarch, INS.com, or 985-951-2070. And for me, do this. Ask for the Queen or the Princess Jamie. They'll get you taken care of. Hey, any of these in particular, because I know we want to cover the roof stuff.
Well, when we do roof, I'm going to cover.
You got it, Emil. That's what we're here for, brother.
right, 10 seconds.
All right. Okay. If we don't get a call. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Hey, that's usually a little bit of partying. Phase 3 coming. Hey, that just means in our area we get to get back to boozing, breathing all over everybody, and bringing those buzzes back. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio, 504-260-0995. The Queen of Insurance is in studio. If you want to reach her, have insurance questions, and you want to get her doing her day job, 985-951-2070, or visit themonarchins.com. So, hey, while I've got you in here, I know we keep getting calls and all that stuff. So what I wanted to ask you real quick is let's talk about roofs, right? We had these storms come through. I get tons of people calling me about refinancing. Kind of give us, because you and Princess Jamie have kind of explained to me, give me an update on, because these carriers have really strapped down on roofs. That has a lot to do with the cost of your policies, right?
It certainly does. The deepest discounts that are offered by the carriers is when you are placing a new piece of business with them with a very, very new roof. So I have clients that have roofs that were put on, as most of us in South Louisiana did after Katrina, that are wearing quicker than what the life expectancy was of the shingle. Let's just say that, because we've had multiple wind events here again. And so what's happening is if your premium, let's say your premium goes up because of the market and the storms that hit the area, which all of the insurance companies are trying to make some adjustments, and you're like, Colette, you need to reshop my policy because it went up $400. And I look at it and I said, well, my first question is, how old is your roof? Mm-hmm. This is why I asked the question. Because right now with the carrier you're with, if a wind event occurs again and your roof is damaged and needs to be replaced, well, you still have what's called replacement cost on your roof. And what that means is it won't be depreciated. So if you have a 15-year-old roof and you have replacement cost coverage on your roof, then the insurance company will initially pay you the depreciated amount. So let's just say it's a $10,000 job to replace your roof.
Okay.
It's reached half its life expectancy. So you're going to get a check for $5,000. Okay. Once you put a brand new roof on it, then they pay you the other $5,000.
Ah.
So you have been fully compensated, less your deductible,
Sure.
of course, to replace the roof. If I move you to save $400 in premium for the year to a new carrier, and your roof is 16 years old now, they are not going to offer replacement cost on the roof. They will offer actual cash value, which means if you have a claim in the next storm season, you're only going to get paid $5,000 for that $10,000 job. So is it a smart move? Is it a smart move to save $400 in premium but lose that coverage?
Right.
So
is 15 years, because you mentioned 15, was that just an example, or is that the timeline that the carriers look at, 15 years, or is it 10, is it 5?
No, some carriers right now, we can't even quote new business with them if the roof is 15 years old or greater.
Wow, okay.
So they are seriously clamping down on how we can market things with older roofs. And the same thing goes with trying to, shop the market for you to save you some money on premium. But then are we then putting you in a worse position because you don't have replacement cost coverage on a dated roof?
Well, and that's why I love you guys. That's why I love, your team because you look out for the client. Because we've had folks that you've had to say, listen, stay where you're at because, yeah, I could save you $400, but at the same time, if something comes up, how long is it going to take you to make up that and the cash value? So when people are coming to me doing the refinancing for the roofs and all that kind of stuff, is that because they're in that situation? Did maybe their carrier not look out for them, making sure that they have the best, who knows, short on coverage?
They literally just have an older, deteriorating roof and say, look, this is part of home maintenance. Mm-hmm. Okay, I need to get a new roof on here because when it rains, I have issues because mine was put on, say, 2004.
Gotcha.
And I need to do it just like you need to buy a new HVAC system, a new water heater. It's home maintenance. It doesn't always have to be, oh, my God, I get a new roof because a storm blew in here. Some people just put new roofs on because it's time to put a new roof on.
No,
it has nothing to do with
and I think
storm,
last year, well, maybe they're getting a couple bucks here or there from the insurance, and they're like, you know what, let's just go all in and get this thing taken care of, which is smart, like you said, just home maintenance. So here's a question that came in. Why do I have to have two homeowners insurance policies? I have a wind and hail hazard, and then I also have a fire policy.
Yeah.
Right. Why is that?
Well, that was very popular after Katrina.
Right.
Where you had a limited number of companies competing for business after that horrendous storm. So many folks I saw years ago had wind and hail with LA Citizens, the insurer of last resort.
Yeah.
About 3 to 4 years after that, you started having some companies come in and offer just wind and hail coverage. So the folks that were with Big Red, Big Blue, where they could offer fire policies through them, but they couldn't offer wind. They would then, there was a company named Giavera that wrote a lot of those wind and hail policies only. So they tried to capitalize a market share, pulling them away from LA Citizens. So we'll see folks, a lot of folks, that have a policy that's we call a split, where they have wind and hail with one company and fire and liability with another company. And what we try to do is just get them insured with one carrier, bring their wind deductible down, as well as their premium amount. So that's pretty common. We can do that pretty easily now, even in the hostile, hard market of property after this year.
All right, so let me ask you this. And we got just a little bit of time left. It's crazy how much flies by when I got to guess. So what is, when we're looking at insurance policies, what is replacement cost, right? Like when somebody goes, hey, we've got 100% replacement cost.
Okay, so that means, back to the roof example, that means that if you replace the item, then the insurance company pays you the cost to replace the item without depreciating the value of the item.
Okay. Because I'll see policies that are written for less, but they go, oh, well, they've got full replacement costs on them.
Correct.
Okay.
So that just means that
is that a way to get the premium cheaper? Or?
No. If your dwelling coverage is $250,000 on your home, then, and it's a replacement cost policy, then if you have some damage sustained to the home, and they're going to write an estimate for the actual cash value, but once you replace the television, the sofa, the flooring, they then issue you the difference.
Gotcha. Okay, that's awesome. That's good to know. I see that, and I know a lot of y'all have those questions, so I just wanted to make sure. So, listen, tell everybody, Colette, the Queen, the senior member of the Total Home Authority, tell everybody how they can find you, get in touch with you, and just the services. Listen, it's not just homeowners. Do you have a commercial building? Do you have auto? Don't get caught up in all that bundling BS.
One minute.
Okay,
1 minute.
so the best way you could send your policies for a free review to Colette at twfg.com. That's COLLETTE at twfg.com. You can call our office at 985-951-2070 and ask to speak to any member of my team, and they'll be willing to jump on top of assisting you. Mention you heard us on Mortgage Gumbo, and that's all it takes.
Thank you, baby.
30.
Appreciate it. Also, The Monarch, INS.com. The Monarch. Thank you as always. Like me, now we'll go get to work. So, hey, you've been listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. Happy St. Patty's Day. Move those clocks forward. Till next week, Gumbo Nation. Keep stirring.